And welcome back, everyone, to the Comics Run the World podcast. As always, I'm your host, Orion Scott Comics, aka Mateo. And as always, I'm joined by
Joined by Woody. How's it going, dude? Hope
pretty
you
good.
had a good weekend.
Thank you, same likewise.
Yeah, I had an absolutely fantastic weekend. I've been playing Zelda. It has been it has been great. It has been a moment I've been waiting for 4 years. Um, I did the midnight release of it, and it was so cool because we had over 100 people at my GameStop.
Damn.
It kind of felt like the old days, like Xbox 360 Call of Duty days,
Yeah, I remember those days. Those were great days.
and like I stood in line with this one guy, and he was just like, we were just nerding out over Zelda, talking about like what we wanted to see in the game, and it was just like a really cool moment. And I got the collector's edition, with came with like an art book,
Nice.
steel book, um, all kinds of stuff. So I've just been playing a lot of Zelda, and
That's sick.
it's been great.
How far are you in Zelda?
I don't know. I mean, this game, like Breath of the Wild, is just so massive. It's just been a lot of exploring, and there's a lot of new abilities, and so I've just been taking my time with it, having a good time. I know we talked about you getting a Switch or borrowing your
Yes,
somebody's Switch so we can play Ultimate Alliance 3.
that is true. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
really fun game.
I actually stole my sister's Switch, so it's all good, no worries. And then I requested Ultimate Alliance 3 for my public library, so that should be coming in soon. So there's
It's a
that.
it's a fun like turn your brain off and play kind of game. It's like a beat 'em up.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, that's
just
sick.
just like the older ones were. I don't know if you ever played them, but it's just you have a selection of Marvel characters, and it's got some kind of the cutscenes are they're
Yeah,
fun for it's fun for what it is. Like you
yeah.
can't take it seriously. Like at one point, I think Green Goblin one of the boss fights is Green Goblin with an Infinity Stone. So it's just it has fun with itself. Like it's a good time.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. I mean, unless they have Wraith, then I'll give it a.
There is
I
no
don't know.
wraith. There is no
Oh,
wraith.
boo! Boycott
there
Ultimate
is
Alliance.
there is no wraith. Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, I know is he underrated, underappreciated. Have him as a DLC for Mortal Kombat 12.
they do. Oh yeah. They do have DLC for Ultimate Alliance 3. I bought all three of them. It's one of them is Fantastic Four.
Hmm.
One of them is like the Defenders. I think it's got like Moon Knight. And then the
Okay,
other one, I don't know what the other one is. I think it's X Men. It's X Men. I think the third DLC is X Men. So I
that's
haven't
pretty.
played the DLCs, but I have them.
That sounds pretty sick. All right, so today we got pretty nice episode. Today we are going to be reviewing TMNT Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 3 from the IDW collection. And then we'll be doing a pretty fun segment then that I've been very excited for. So obviously different people read different characters or superheroes in different voices, whether that be reading Batman with Kevin Conroy's voice, and so on and so forth. So we have a little segment where we each pick 10 characters, 10 different characters, and we say, who do we hear when we read them in comics? So I'm pretty excited for that. It's going to be pretty fun. But before that, you said you had something special, a nice key issue to show off. Let's see what it is.
I did. Before I show it, I will say like a bit about how I collect single issues. I'm not a big key issue collector. Like I think they are obviously very cool
Yeah.
and they're cool to own. I'm more of a fan of like just getting like back issue bin covers that I think look cool of characters that I love and stuff like that. But I have a couple of key issues here and there. But what I find cooler than first appearances is like a character's number one. Like I have Miles
Yeah.
Morales. You can't see it right now, but I have his first ever like debut issue.
Nice.
Like his number one. I find number ones like cooler, like their first number one cooler than their first appearance. But luckily, this issue is both. It is the number one and the first appearance. All right, let
Okay.
me grab it.
Oh man. Hopefully it's not Sam Alexander. Nice.
Nova number one.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
And like I didn't really care about getting a comic in like I didn't care about getting it in the greatest shape.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted it to be presentable. It only has a small blemish where it says comics. You can barely
Oh,
see
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
But besides that, the cover is in like perfect condition.
That's awesome.
First appearance
Damn.
of Richard Rider Nova. It's also the first appearance of his brother, um, who I forgot his name, but you can see him on the cover like right here.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but
Dude,
yeah,
that's sick.
it's his number one and his first appearance, and I just think that's awesome.
That
It's a
is
cool
sick.
cover.
I made a little joke when you took your headset off, where it's like, hopefully it's not a Sam Alexander Nova. But
I
I was in the
actually,
same vein. I was in the same vein.
I actually am like gonna pick up his number one. Like I saw it at the comic store when I bought this, but like I was buying this and I think I paid like $65, and I was
Oh,
like,
it's not that
okay.
bad.
I was like, I'll come back for Sam Alexander, but it's not his first appearance, but it's his first number one. It's like it's only like 10-15 bucks. I was like, I'm getting that. I love my boy Sam.
A little too expensive for my taste, but that's just me. I think first number one or like first in their series and first appearance. I think I have Firestorm. Firestorm
Ooh, that's
issue
cool.
number one, and its first appearance was pretty sick. Um, I went to a Comic Con where it was Baltimore Comic Con a few years back, and I just splurged money like nothing. It was crazy, but I'm excited uh for this year's Baltimore Comic Con. Be sick, and that Nova number one is definitely is definitely one that I've always wanted. I always look at it and say, "I'm one day I'm gonna get it," and now I am seething in jealousy right now since you have that one right now.
Dude,
That's sick.
we've just been reading, or I've been reading, a lot of Nova from Annihilation to us reading Annihilation Conquest, and I mean, I bought a little action figure back there. You can kind of see of him,
Yeah, the action figure is sick.
and yeah, so I was like, you know what? I saw it at my LCS, and I was like, the cover looks great. It's not too bad in price,
Hmm.
so I picked it up.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. All right. Next up, I don't think there's anything in news. Nothing. At least nothing notable. We know that Superman Legacy starts filming in January. That's something. That's pretty cool.
That and Fantastic Four, I think.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, cool, awesome.
I
So
could
we
be wrong.
probably get some casting announcements, probably at San Diego Comic Con, maybe. Who
Yeah,
knows? Who knows if they'll bring back DC fandom? Do you remember that during like the
I
pandemic?
do. Yeah.
That was great. They should bring that back, honestly. But nevertheless, let's jump into our first main segment, and that is TMNT IDW Collection Volume 3. First thing, I know we kind of want to recap very briefly Volume 2 real quick because we had some technical difficulties with that episode. So just a brief recap, there are two story arcs. There was one with Slash, the another mutant turtle, right?
Yeah, he's like this giant. I think he's a snapping turtle. He's this
Yeah,
giant turtle that they put the mutagen in to basically hunt after the Ninja Turtles. And I mean, he brutally beats down all of our boys. He brutally beats
yeah,
down all the Ninja Turtles. And then like Leonardo's like talking him down, realizing like we don't need to use violence, but Slash tackles him and accidentally gets stabbed with the sword. So
hmm,
he's kind of like he drifts away. Like,
yeah.
um, and then the second one is with the turtles going to, I believe the planet was called Ultra
Ultra
Minion.
Minion, something like that. Yeah, yeah.
It's where like Krang is from. It's
Hmm.
the first time we see them go up against Krang in this IDW series,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's them trying to save the planet. It's like them fighting with the rebellion against Krang, and they win, but also Krang captures the super adaptoid, not super adaptoid. I'm thinking also Annihilation Conquest. I'm thinking Annihilation Conquest.
the
They
Fugitoid.
the Fugitoid captures the
It's
Fugitoid, who is able
such a
to.
terrible name.
He's able to build the Technodrome, which is going to help Krang do some evil stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's
they
true.
win, but they also lose.
Yeah, and obviously they're the fantastic one shots towards the end. They're not fantastic. I was being sarcastic. Um, for those one shots, I said this in the last episode, but I'll say it again. if you're a completionist, if you're a TMNT fan and you want to know everything, go ahead and read the one shots. But if you just want to read the main story, you can definitely do that because they, after the one shot, they will just recap it in one page and like
Yeah,
yeah, you know.
they kind of they let you know what happened.
Exactly. So if you are like a TMNT completionist, a big fan, definitely read the one shots. But if you just want to read the main series, definitely just check out the main series. And there was another the secret history of the Foot Clan at the end.
Yeah.
That I know you love the lore and the reincarnation stuff like that. It was pretty. At first I kind of dug the reincarnation stuff, but then reading how convoluted and just it's super complicated. Not really super complicated, but it's just like a bore to trying to follow up on like the reincarnation stuff. It has some cool moments, but
Yeah, there's some
yeah.
cool like aspects to it kind of, but just having like Shredder called Splinter Hamayato Yoshi, and I'm just like, what? Like, just he's Master Splinter. I don't know. Like,
Right. So yeah, that was basically what happened. I think a main thing was just like a little connection with like the two uh main villains so far, Krang and Shredder, how they have like a connection of some sorts in feudal Japan because that's how the ooze, that's how you Shredder or someone else, I think it was Shredder, where he gets to get like resurrected or like heals and stuff
yeah,
like that.
he gets resurrected by it's this lady that shows up in Volume 3.
Yeah.
It's like Kitsune or something. She
Mhm.
resurrects him. Yeah, because the ooze comes from Krang's planet. So yeah, it's it's a
It's
whole thing.
it's cool how like they tied both villains together, but and just like in the fashion they do it, and like the whole again reincarnation stuff. It kind of just like drags it down a little bit, but nonetheless, it is still fun to see them in feudal Japan. I guess it is. I like the feudal Japan part, but I just like the whole reincarnation stuff. Nah, not anymore.
Yeah,
So
never been a fan of that.
yeah. So now we are jumping into volume 3 of TMNT. Um, I think there was it. Isn't it just like one big arc essentially?
Yeah, it's instead of it being, like two arcs like Volume 2, this one's just kind of one. There's also a lot more tie-ins and one-shots in here, which I was scrolling through and I've never been interested in them, but I might eventually go back and read them. I'm glad like we aren't because that would just be too much to talk about.
Yeah.
It's just so much to talk about, but the art in the Alopex, the wolf characters looked amazing.
Hmm.
The Hobbs story, when I was scrolling through, looks really sad. It looks like it shows this really sad kitten, I guess, when he was a kitten. And I didn't read it, but um, it looks like some of the one shots in here might be better. I'll definitely check them out sometime. But for the sake of discussing it, I think it's better to just discuss the main story and, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Overall, let's start off with I think it's City Fall. That's the story
That's
arc called.
Yeah, it's called City Fall. Yeah.
Um, what did you think about it overall? What do you like? What didn't you like? Maybe like a brief overview, stuff like that.
Oh, I have really strong opinions about one thing, and I don't know if I can hold off talking about it any
Okay,
longer.
good. Go ahead.
Um, oh god, dude. So the first issue is drawn by Kevin Eastman,
Mm.
who's like the Ninja Turtles artist, and it's
Yeah.
amazing, dude. There's like these two full page spreads of the turtles. One of them's like them jumping out and attacking, and one of them's like looking out of the city, and they're amazing.
Yeah.
And then we go to the next issue. And I believe this is the artist that continues doing the book. I believe, like, not the book, like the whole TMNT IDW series. I think they stick with this guy because throughout all the volumes 1, 2, and 3, it's been a lot of different artists.
Yeah.
My favorite artist so far was in that second arc of Volume 2, when they go
Yeah.
to Ultra Minion. I love the art there.
That was like I think so far from what we read, that was like the best TMNT art we've seen in this series.
I think Eastman's art is better in this. He's only in this first issue. It's where
Yeah.
Splinter is like disguised as this like character and is just beating all of the turtles' asses. Like
Yeah.
it's really great. But and then we go to this next issue and it's got art.
It's art. It's drawings. It has colors. That is art.
Yes. Oh god, dude, I feel so bad attacking artists because
I
art is
know.
subjective, but this art is trash, dude. It's trash.
Yeah, it was a when I finished like the first issue with like Kevin Eastman's art, and like you said, it's great because he basically created the turtles essentially. Him doing art on this was great. Then just like the complete 180 with with this art. Again, I I do really hate talking bad about
I
an
do
artist's
too.
art because they work so hard on it and they put like time and effort in it, and it's like people like ripping in it. But I mean, just come on. I gotta be honest. We gotta be honest here.
Before like I keep being negative, I'll at least say there were parts that I liked. I think the paneling is really good.
Yeah.
I think there's this scene, obviously spoilers, but there's a scene where Leonardo, his mind is being, torn apart by this Kitsune character, like basically mind controlling him. And all the scenes where he's being mind controlled, the art is like a 10 out of 10. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Um, but there's like this one shot of Raphael in the very like the first issue that it's being drawn, and his eyes are like poking out of his head, and I was like, what is that?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about because that's like the first thing I noticed. That really, no pun intended, really popped out at me, which is like his eyes. It's like I don't know, and this art kind of reminds me of. No, I don't know if the same artist or not, but it reminds me of that. What was it in volume 2? Where you remember how I was making fun of how the artist just progressively made Mikey uglier and uglier.
Yeah, you said
It,
it had a huge nose.
yeah, he had a really big ass schnoz, and it just made him like a helmet of a head. So, it kind of reminds me of this. Not as egregious of making the turtles hideous, but I don't know. It's just there are some parts where I'm just like, ugh. But there was one part where, speaking of, you said like the paneling layout. It was with who was it that the turtle who accidentally killed Slash in volume 2? Was it?
Well, Leonardo didn't accidentally kill him, but he accidentally stabs him.
Yeah, he
Like
actually stabs him.
he's like talking him down, and then Slash uh tackles him, and then his sword gets stuck in like his. It's more like right
Yeah,
here in his shoulder.
yeah, it's like that, and like it's just like in the background of like the background of like the page. It's like I'm pretty sure it's Leonardo and then like Slash like looking at each other like menacingly, and then we see like the panels in between them. I thought it was pretty sick. The funny enough, since it is a flashback, the artwork is better in the flashback than in like what's happening right now. But I mean, just like I don't know, the artwork, not a fan of.
I mean, it took me out. Like they each have like it's really the turtles. It's the eyes. It's the eyes. Like each of them has a distinct face, and they're all really bad in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
I don't know which one's worse. I just hate the way the eyes like come out of their bandana really, and
yeah. I feel like they're like pupils and stuff like
it just looks goofy.
that.
But I mean, besides that, the art actually is fine. I mean, I don't actually. There's this one shot of Master Splinter. His face is so like elongated. Splinter here, like,
Yeah,
but it's really just a lot of the faces. Besides that, the art's fine, and I thought the story was so good that I was able to look past it,
yeah,
which was a good thing. So I guess we'll start talking about that, talking about the story. But
yeah.
what were some of
Artwork,
your favorite parts?
favorite parts. I mean, did you read the annual
I
of
didn't.
this?
I didn't.
I
I
read
was.
I read it. It's kind of just like a. I don't think it has anything to do with like the main series, but that I read
The
the
only
annual.
the only thing I think it pulls is the Savate.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
guys.
the French ninja group. I think.
Hmm.
Um, I read that, and I think that it was like because I read it on Comixology, and they have it in like the library editions of the TMNT. So that was like the first one that I read, and that also is in Kevin Eastman's artwork, and which is really cool. And I think that annual was really good, even though it's like not doesn't really tie into anything in the main story. It's just like there's this briefcase of like diamonds essentially, and like there's like 4 or 5 other groups like trying to get this briefcase some way or fashion. And not Mikey, Raphael and Casey got caught in the mix of it because they were doing like parkour and stuff. And then Casey drops his bat, and then that leads him to like this car crash that has like the briefcase. And like at first, it's super convoluted because there's like so many moving pieces to it. there's there's like I said, 4 or 5 different groups of people trying to get after this briefcase in some way or fashion, and it kind of jumps around trying to see like how they tie into this certain like event, essentially the car crash and getting the diamonds. And I thought it was really cool. It's really interesting seeing how all of these different characters come in and like basically do like a classic like fighting for like the briefcase of diamonds, which
Yeah.
ultimately get Casey just chucks it in the ocean and just dips. um, so that happens, and like it was kind of like a running gag throughout the annual where Raphael always is just picking on Casey, saying like you just you shouldn't have dropped that damn bat, and we wouldn't be in this mess. And it's like been like this whole like gag, even like at the final issue where like they're trying to find the diamonds in like the water, and they say like all I can find is like this damn bat. So that was pretty cool, but just like the main story of it all was
Yeah,
great.
I loved it. I talked about my least favorite part. I'll talk about my favorite part now. Was I don't know the technical name for him, but Chunin Leonardo, basically
Yes.
Dark Leonardo, Evil Leonardo, whatever you want to call him. I need an action figure of him. Um, he was just awesome. He was brutal, although he couldn't kill, which like kind of annoyed me.
Yeah.
Um, like it was their excuse for him not being able to kill was it reminded him of his past. It was like his trigger, but like I don't know, let him go all out. If he's gonna be
Right.
a Dark Leonardo, I want to see him.
Yeah. That was also I was gonna say that was my favorite part, seeing him just like in his black
Dude.
bandana. His like outfit was sick. He was like whooping everyone's ass. It was sick. Todd McFarlane, if you're listening to this, make an action figure of this
Yeah, for
immediately.
real.
Immediately. It's great. I loved it.
And
I
he could he could he couldn't kill, but he could be he could be sexist because
Oh yeah.
in this one part, like he's like Shredder's secondhand guy, right? And he uses Shredder's granddaughter as bait. And
Hmm.
she's like, What the hell, Shredder? Why'd you do that?" And he was like, "Actually, it was Leonardo's idea." And Leonardo's like, "Yeah, I knew that they would see a woman as weaker, so I used you as bait." I was like, "Whoa, what did this mind control do to you, dude?"
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Maybe like a little Freudian slip from Leonardo's part from his brainwashing.
Yeah, the brain control did a little bit too much to Leonardo. I mean, damn.
I know. Um, but I think like the fight scene with all of them plus Slash was really sick. I The one thing that is consistently good in throughout from what we read in volume 1 to 3 are like the fight scenes. The fight scenes are really well laid out very well.
Yeah, you
I
can really like track what's going on. And I'll give that
Yeah,
another props to this guy for the art. I think he draws really great action scenes.
that is
Like
true.
the action is drawn very well. You know, sometimes it can be hard in comic art to like track what's really going on, but
Yeah,
I think the you're right. The fight sequences are done really well.
it's awesome, and so I did really love Leonardo and his dark form. Uh, but there are some parts, and again, I'm sorry to the artist. It just sticks out to me. And like not only with Dark Leonardo, but like there's this one section. It's with Donatello and Mikey, and their heads are just like twice the size of what they usually are.
Dude,
It's crazy.
dude, it's their heads. Like from the eyes to the, I agree. Like sometimes Donatello's forehead felt like it was 10 inches tall.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just like in like the SpongeBob movie where like King Neptune takes off his like hat or crown, and everyone just screams bald as like super big shiny bald head.
Dude,
That's me every time when I see a Ninja Turtle with an enormous dome of a head.
dude, like there's sometimes I'd be reading and I'd be like getting into it, and I swear I'd do a double take. Like, what the hell? Like, why does he look like that?
For the new TMNT movie that's coming out, if they don't have at least a frame of all of them having egregiously large foreheads, I'm walking out.
Yeah. I need at least a panel. Maybe they're looking at like a funny mirror, like in a circus thing. We need a nod to the turtles having really bad heads.
And like going back to the artwork, but there's another part where like sometimes their like schnozzes are like so big. It's just like their like bandana goes like this, and it's like disappears in the middle, and it just goes back because
Yeah.
how big both their head and their noses are.
Yeah, dude, Mikey had this weird thing with his nose the whole time. I thought it was just Michelangelo
It was just Mikey.
with his nose. Speaking of him, we got to see him and Woody reunite with the pizza.
Thank God.
That was a
Thank
great
God.
moment.
I know. That
That
was
was
like
a
one.
great moment.
That was like a sad part in Volume 2 where Woody's like, I can't do this anymore, man. And I was like, there's no way. But then they reunite. It's awesome. Ah, so beautiful.
Yeah, I forget that our episode 2, like our volume 2 episode messed up, but
Yeah.
yeah, like him and his pizza guy, they have to separate because the pizza guy gets attacked by Slash and like pretty much almost dies. So, but they reunite here and they go on like a little mission together. Uh,
Yeah.
the pizza guy is bringing him all over town to like shady parts of town that he won't deliver to anymore until he finally finds like some people that are working with the Foot Clan, and then Mikey like throws the pizza in their face and beats them up. It's
It's great. It's great seeing them together. But yeah. Wait, is there anything else that you really liked about this arc in general? I think personally this is like my favorite arc that we've read so far.
I think it probably is too. Although, damn, volume 2 in this one, I think I love equally. I love both arcs from volume 2. Um, I don't know which one I like more. They're like right here for me, both of those
Hmm.
two volumes. But I loved seeing like Splinter's really going through it in this volume with Leonardo being like
Yeah.
he Hobbs. Also, we'll have to talk about Hobbs because Hobbs. I really liked Hobbs here, but Hobbs pretty much traps them with Splinter, like he sets them up kind of, uh, but also helps them at the same time. That's why I like Hobbs. He's kind of you don't know what he's really up to, but
He's a morally gray character in this, which is really good.
yeah, but he gets them with Splinter, and this is like right when Leonardo's been mind controlled, and Splinter's like, Leonardo, like come back, and then Leonardo just like kicks him. And dude, Splinter looks
Yeah.
up in like the saddest way, and he's like, Leonardo, no. And it's so sad.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, dude, that's something I loved. And then Hobbs, like Hobbs is great here.
Yeah. I feel like later on in the series he's really gonna shine, and like maybe if anything, like in like the final showdown of everything, he like joins the turtles in some way or fashion, or maybe he goes back to Shredder. Who knows? But I'm putting my bet here right now. Later on in the series, he joins the turtles and he has his own bandana.
Yeah, I could see something like that. I think what I like about him is he's morally gray, but like his intentions are clear. He just
Yeah.
hates stock gen. He hates stock gen, and that's it. Like he doesn't really seem to care too much about anything else. Um, The only reason he helps the turtles is because Splinter helps him like pretty much blow up one of the StockGen labs.
Yeah,
So, and he's also trying to build his own mutant army, which sounds like it's going to be pretty badass.
it is.
We also finally get probably my favorite Ninja Turtle villains here, Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yep.
I'm glad they're finally here, and I don't know. I like their banter between each other. They're great, dude. They're really fun villains.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them later on in the series. There's this one part in this that kind of shocked me was when like Casey gets stabbed and he goes to the hospital, and then I think it was something along the lines with like them trying to say like, or should we tell your father or something like that, and then like someone says something along the lines with like he'll probably just be too drunk to even care, but like he's like right outside
It's
the door.
it's the girl that works with the Moon Dragons. I forget her name. She's got the purple hair.
Yeah, the one with the purple hair, and like her, and like you see his dad's like there or like listening, and he just like walks away. It's kind of hard to sympathize with the dad because of how abusive he is towards Casey. So but it is interesting and like at least in some way nice to see some
Yeah,
humanity and like some like I guess like the start of his character like growth from that one scene.
yeah. But then he becomes a bad guy, and he fights Casey at
Yeah,
the end. I
yeah,
It took me forever to realize that was his dad. That's something I
yeah.
think that happens in one of those one shots. He
Maybe.
basically
Uh,
becomes he sobers up and becomes super jacked and becomes the leader of the Moon Dragons, and he like is like, I'm gonna work with Shredder. His name, he goes by Hun. I found that, I don't know. I found that kind of weird. I was like, I don't know if that was
yeah.
really necessary. It just felt a little odd. Um
Yeah, it felt kind of forced, like just to like
yeah.
push, like maybe like push Casey's character or like just push their relationship in general.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't too huge on that, but one part you were talking about that I liked was like when they're bringing Casey to the ER. There's this really cool shot of like half of it is them bringing Casey to the ER, and the other half is them bringing Leonardo to be like mind controlled and just showing how
Yeah,
the situations are kind of parallel but different. I thought that was like a really cool page. Um,
yeah, definitely. It's really cool, and obviously we didn't read like the one shots or anything like that because we have bad, not that great experiences with the one shots prior. Infamously the Fugitoid one, which I
Fugitoid.
God. Mark my words, if I see Fugitoid in a TMNT movie, I'm walking out. I'm out.
You know he's gonna show back up in this series again. He's definitely gonna show back up.
Oh yeah, I
Fugitoid.
know. I know if it's gonna. I don't know. Hopefully he. I mean, I might just say like the artist who did the main run on this better come back to give Fugitoid an egregious nose and head.
Yeah,
That'll make him at least somewhat entertaining to experience.
I'm with you there.
Um, Overall, we obviously went over the artwork. Not the greatest, but then again, it's subjective. But we didn't really like that much. The writing was really good. The arcs were pretty solid. Um, Overall, what'd you think? What was your rating?
I'm physically unable to give anything from the series 5 stars because of the reincarnation aspect that I absolutely cannot stand. Um, I will never be on board with that. There will never be anything that will make me on board with the reincarnation. But that, and look, like the art, it makes me want to give it a 4 stars, but honestly, I enjoyed the. It's tough. I'm between like 4 and 4.5. I think I'm going to go with 4. Even though it's my favorite like story-wise arc, I think both the art and the whole thing with Casey's dad I just wasn't into. So I'm going to give it 4 stars. But in a way, I still think it's my favorite, or it's on par with Volume 2, which I gave 4.5.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm gonna give it a 4 because of the art, and the Casey's dad drags it down a bit for me. But it's still it's really 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 good.
Yeah, I would also give it a 4. I don't know. I'm very hard on like artwork. As much as I hate doing it, I am like very picky with my artwork. And if there's like something, or if there's like a consistent like issue with like the artwork, it kind of brings me out of it.
Yeah, it brought me out like every now and then. I'd be like,
Yeah,
ooh,
and it's like I don't know. The artwork, was hit or miss. There are some great moments in the art, like Kevin Eastman and the. I did skim the one shots as well. They look like they have really good artwork. Um,
yeah,
and
it's tough. That's what makes it even harder. Is if you're going from Kevin Eastman to this, that makes it even tougher on this art. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Um, and like the whole Casey dad thing, uh, forced. It felt forced. It felt kind of unnecessary. It feels like those like as a comic book movie tropes where like they bring someone back just for the sake of like the character, uh, the character they're associated with, just like to progress as a character, but like in the
yeah,
most like unnecessary and like odd way.
yeah, I feel like there's so many different ways they could have gone with Casey's dad if they want to make him like sober up and do something. Like, I don't know. It just feels a little too much. Just too much for me. Like
Yeah,
I don't know. It wasn't for me. I don't know if it's a bad choice per se. I just
it's interesting to say at the least. It's a choice. It is a choice.
yeah.
I mean, hopefully we'll see something out of it in volumes 4 and 5. But I guess we'll wait and see. But yeah, I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I'll give it 4 out of 5 as well.
Alrighty.
I think now that I think about it more, I'll say this. I feel like if you're gonna deal with something as like dark, like and it's like real life, like that people actually deal with, where it's like being abusive and drunk to kids, like I feel like, oh, all of a sudden now he's just this over the top gangster bad guy. Like I don't
Yeah,
know, like it
it
just
kind
is
of
a
ruins
weird.
it.
It's a weird transition.
Yeah,
So
and I think it ruins it because I mean, like you just said, like that's like a pretty like heavy subject, but
yeah.
also if to some people, unfortunately, it's relatable. And what's not relatable is having that person become a super jacked leader of some
Yeah, yeah,
group.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. I agree.
but yeah, that was our little overview review of TMNT Volume 3. Now, up next is a segment that I'm very excited for
Me
because
too.
I have some choices, and this is I know a lot of people have different things, but we are gonna list off and say who whose voice we hear when we read comics. Now, to further elaborate, basically, when you read, I know most people when they read Batman, they hear Kevin Conroy's voice, Mark Hamill for Joker, and so on and so forth. But we each picked 10 different characters, and we're just go down the list and say who we hear when we read these characters in comics. So, you want to start us off?
I will start us off. First, we have Superman, the one, the only.
Yes,
Who
sir.
do you hear when you read Superman? A lot of choices here.
There are a lot of choices. There are some times where like, I try to like. There are some times where like when I read a character, I switch to see like which one like best fits like the comic book I'm reading because that's also another thing that I kind of do. Whereas like depending on like the uh the story arc or like that I'm reading, I give them like a kind of like a different voice. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I do that too. You know, it depends on the tone of the story, sometimes even the art, the way the character is like being portrayed. So, yeah, it
Yeah.
can definitely change.
So for Superman, for me at least, I hear the voice actor who's been doing Superman for super long. No pun intended. Um, he did the voice acting for Injustice. and the
Oh,
animated
he's
series.
okay. He's in the yeah. I
I think
that's who I hear is the Superman from the Superman animated series.
yeah, I think it's Tim Daly. I think. Let me see. Let me see.
I will say for a lot of mine, I don't know the voice actors' names. I just know like the video game or the
Yeah,
animated series. So I if I don't say their name, it's just because I don't know it. But I'll try and reference them. So if you're curious, you can look it up yourself and
yeah,
find out who that character voice actor is or where it originates. But yeah, mine's from the Superman animated series, which is super underrated in my opinion. The Batman animated series is amazing, but so is the Superman animated series, and I love that's just like Superman for me. I think it's the same voice actor in the Justice League animated series. I think
yeah,
it's the same guy. Yeah.
yeah.
So
It is. Yeah, that's why I hear too.
yeah,
Sometimes I like to try out Henry Cavill's voice, but it doesn't really work out as much.
yeah. As much as I love Henry Cavill's Superman, I've never really heard him. Well, but I don't. I mean, I'm looking because I wrote down all my answers. I think there is one time where a live action character I hear them, but it's actually not even live action. I'll get to him in a little bit, but I don't really ever hear live action characters when I'm reading comics.
Yeah, it's like there are some, we will get to it soon, but there are some that I do choose the live action over the animated uh voice actors and stuff like that.
Yeah, but okay, same answer for Superman animated series. Next I have Wolverine.
Wolverine, I just go with Hugh Jackman.
Really,
Yeah, I
really
do.
okay.
I do.
I was curious to see this one because this one it's as definitive as Batman for me is Steve Bloom, who like I actually know his name because like he is Wolverine to me. He plays Wolverine in the animated series. Like he just is Wolverine for me. He plays Wolverine in a ton of stuff, and there is a lot of rumors he's going to be playing Wolverine in the PS5 game. I really, really, really hope so.
That'd be sick. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, he's definitely who I hear when I read Wolverine.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm more of a. I don't know why. I think it's because I
Hugh
never
Jackman
really.
is the obvious number two.
Yeah, there's for like I haven't really watched any Marvel animated stuff, so I guess that's why for like most of the Marvel characters we have, I will be choosing like the live action because I never really delved into the animated parts of Marvel as much as I've done for DC.
Yeah, I mean, but when you're talking about iconic live actions, Hugh Jackman, you know, he's right up there
Yeah,
with Robert Downey Jr. So that's a very great choice. Next we have also I don't know if it's I've always said Bloom. I don't know if it's Blum or Bloom. It's Blum. Not sure. But next we have Batman.
Batman.
Who do
So
you hear when you read Batman?
now I might be in the extreme
You are.
minority in
You
this.
are.
um, I don't read in Kevin Conroy's voice for Batman. I
Okay.
know it sucks. I might get some flack with that, but I hear voice actor Jason O'Mara. He is the voice actor for Batman and Justice League War, and I think for Batman for the entirety of that just like the DC animated universe, Justice League War, Batman and Robin, Batman vs Robin. I think
Yeah.
Bad
Yeah.
Blood, all that stuff. That's what I listen to. I feel like he's super underrated.
He is.
I
I agree with you though. I like his Batman a lot.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It doesn't try. He doesn't try to be someone else. He kind of just has his own voice, which I really like, and I don't know. It just sticks with me more than no. I mean, praise, rest in peace, Kevin Conroy,
Goat.
Batman forever. He's always gonna be the top Batman. But I don't know. I hear that Jason O'Mara's Batman voice more than I do Kevin Conroy's.
I will say, like, my answer is definitely Kevin Conroy, but I will also say There are some comics where like I don't think Kevin Conroy's Batman works just
Yeah.
because there's so many different portrayals of Batman and different ways, he's been shown, and I don't think Kevin Conroy's Batman works for absolutely all of them. There was one I was reading lately which was some of Zdarsky's Batman, the
Okay.
recent one, and he has Batman narration bubbles. And I was reading it in like Robert Pattinson's like narration voice,
Yeah.
and it was badass,
Yeah.
dude. So like, there's just so many. Like, my answer is Kevin Conroy, but sometimes I've even got my own Batman voice when I'm reading a certain Batman comic, like if it fits that specific storytelling or
Yeah.
art or whatever. So there's a lot of different, ways you can go with that answer, but Kevin Conroy's for me.
All right.
Another one next. This is like the two characters. Okay, Batman. Now we have Spider-Man, Peter Parker. Who do you hear?
Mine's like a mix of two. I was thinking about this one earlier, and I couldn't really see one on top of the other. But it's a mix of the voice actor for Spectacular Spider-Man and the voice actor for Spider-Man PS4.
When you say spectacular, do you mean the the animated series, like the animated series, like the old one? It's, I don't know when it was being made, but like,
Like the original like 90s Spider-Man.
yeah.
I'm talking about the it's not that one. But now that you say that, I do if it's an older Peter Parker that I'm reading, I do listen to I do hear his voice from Spider-Man.
Okay. I know who you're talking. You're talking about the. Okay, so I haven't seen Spectacular Spider-Man.
It's
I
good.
need to see Spectacular Spider-Man.
It's good. I saw that season 1 like a day. It's really good.
How many seasons are there?
I think it's like 2 or 3 maybe. Check.
Okay. I need to see it, so I haven't seen that.
It's pretty damn good, not gonna lie. A lot of people hype it up, and it's, in my opinion, I think it's worth the hype.
Worth the hype. Okay. For Spider-Man, I this is like the one character where I truly just kind of hear my own voice. I feel like I've been reading I not I feel like I have been reading Spider-Man longer than any character. I got into Spider-Man because of Tobey Maguire, but I've never ever really read Spider-Man with his voice.
No.
Um but I've kind of just got my own Spider-Man in my head, like my own Peter Parker voice. If I had to, it's like a good combination of the Spider-Man from Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I believe it's one. He might be the same actor in number two, but that Tom Holland Spider-Man and PS4, like, I don't know. I just kind of hear my own. It's the one character on both of our lists where I got my own thing in there in my
Yeah.
head.
No, I completely understand that. Yeah, I'm like that with some of my other characters on my list at least. But yeah.
Okay. And there's also characters that don't really have like a reference where you kind of do just have to make your own in your head. There's plenty of
Yeah.
characters like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Like Gore. Gore, I don't have I just got my own voice in my head when I read Thor's
Yeah.
run.
Sometimes with like characters like those, like who don't have like a voice reference or anything like that, I kind of just pull from like a voice that I heard from like a different like TV show or movie. And I just kind of implement that voice. Um, what was it? I think there was one character. I forget what character it is, but have you seen Dune, the movie Dune that came out in
I haven't
2021?
seen Dune.
So the main bad guy in that is called he's the Baron Harkonnen. He's like this really big fat guy essentially who
Okay.
has like suspenders, like not suspenders, but like that's hard to describe. It's like these like things that like he's like on his back and it makes him like float because he can't walk because he's like so fat. um,
It's like
he has a
Wally.
yeah, exactly, yeah, and like he has this very like odd and like unique voice to him that I kind of like implemented with like almost all of like the big hulking characters in
Okay,
like different comic books. So it's kind of like I use the same voice for like a certain category of like more like
I got you.
minor or like common characters, stuff like that. So I understand where you're coming from.
Okay, next I have Iron Man.
I mean, same thing for me since I haven't really seen that many animated projects. I have to go Robert Downey Jr. with Iron Man.
For me, and this will be a running theme, it is the Iron Man from Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers TV show. Now, I will say about him, I don't know when the show came out compared to Iron Man, like the first one, but he's doing kind of a Robert Downey Jr. voice. Like, I think he's definitely kind of going for that, but he also has his own kind of style to it that I think is just a bit more comic booky. So I usually hear him. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, next we have Doctor Doom.
Oh man, what do I hear? I don't know because the only like I mean again I haven't seen the animated stuff. I know he's in Earth Mightiest Heroes. I do know that.
I'll send you just a clip of him if you want a badass Doom because
Yeah,
the
might
Doom
as
in
well.
there is great.
Yeah,
Um,
I did see like the one clip where he's just like, was it you just backhands the Hulk or something like that?
I know he's in the one I'm remembering. He's like he has the Wasp captured and he's really great and but his voice more than anything. Like I remember in playing Ultimate Alliance 1 back in the day and I hated his voice.
Oh yeah,
But I feel like he needs that robotic-y tone to him
yeah,
and he's got that in that show, but do you just kind of make it up with Doctor Doom? You just kind of have your own.
yeah. I kind of like. I don't want to say that. I don't know. I do kind of make it up. I kind of just think of like I think of a character's voice I've seen somewhere, like a TV show or movie, and just like kind of like have like a robotic filter over it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's kind of what I do. I don't think I have a specific actor, but like it's kind of like what you said, like how I just have my own Doom voice in my head. Um, so I don't really have anyone specific. I just kind of make my up because I don't want to say like the live action Dooms because they've not been good.
No, no, you don't want to imitate those. No.
No, not at all.
All right. Next we have the Joker, who I know you aren't the hugest fan on, but I know you've had to have read the Joker every now and then.
Unfortunately. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anyone else but Mark Hamill, but I think I just hear Mark Hamill's voice.
Okay. Correct
For
answer. Correct answer.
yeah, I just listen to Mark Hamill's voice as the Joker as much as I don't like the Joker.
Definitely Mark Hamill, the
Yeah,
goat Joker. Um, like Heath Ledger is also the goat, but he's his own Joker. I've never really seen a Joker like his. He's just his own take. He's not a comic book Joker at all, which is not like a slight against him. I think he's also the goat, but I've never like read Heath Ledger's or any of the live actions, honestly. And
you know, not now you say that, I'm gonna change my answer to Jared Leto Joker.
now I know why you hate the Joker. Now I know why. Now I know why. Following the Batman trend, next I have Catwoman.
I'm gonna go with the same voice actress for Catwoman who's been in the Arkham series and
That's my pick.
the Injustice series. So
Oh,
I
is
go
she
with it.
in Justice too?
I think so.
I think she is. Yeah, I
She
never.
might be. I think.
Gray de Delisle. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing that, but she is the voice actor in both Injustice 2 and Arkham City and Arkham Knight
Yeah.
and Arkham Origins.
Yeah. That's what I listen to.
Me too.
99% of the time.
Me too. She is a great Catwoman.
Mm.
Next, this is what I was talking about when I hear live action, but again, it's not really live action. Is Rocket Raccoon?
I mean, Bradley Cooper, Guardian live action Guardian of the Galaxy. It's like that's all I hear for Rocky Raccoon.
I do too. And when I was making this list, I decided I watched this like YouTube video of like different Rocket Raccoon voice actors, and there's a lot of really good ones. The Guardians of the Galaxy video game is good.
Yeah,
They're also in, I think it's like Ultimate Spider-Man, the show, and I like the voice actor there too. But I don't know, Bradley Cooper just really knocks it out of the park for me. So,
definitely. I agree.
and for my last selection, I've got Miles Morales Spider-Man.
I hear the voice actor who plays Miles Morales and Into the Spider Verse.
Okay, I was really curious about this one because I feel like there's two great options, and I go with the PS5 games. Miles, I think I don't know. That's another one where I feel like they have different tones, and I could see both. Like
Yeah,
they, I love them. They're both so great. Like they're both a 10 out of 10. So you can't really go wrong there. But I feel like they're definitely the two clearest options.
yeah,
I
definitely.
don't know any other like times Miles Morales has been. I mean, in Ultimate Alliance 3, he's in that, but they don't have like that many voice lines in that game.
Yeah. Um. All right. So that's the end of your list. Now it's on to my list. Number one, I have Captain America.
This one was very, very easy. Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Captain America. I love the MCU Cap, but like this is Cap for me. I He's probably voiced Captain America a lot because I feel like I hear his voice as Captain America a ton. But who do you hear?
I only hear Chris Evans.
That's a good
I
pick.
Yeah, I hear Chris Evans' voice whenever I read Captain America. Even though, I mean, I'm probably just reading the wrong things, but I'm not really a fan of Captain America in the comics.
We gotta read Brubaker. We gotta read
I know,
Brubaker,
I
dude.
know. It's on the list. It's on the list.
Yeah. Actually, wait. Is it on the list?
I think so. Oh, I think you changed it out,
I,
didn't you?
I took it off because you were trash talking my boy Sam Alexander Nova.
Yeah, and out down that hill.
Next time something is taken off, I will put Captain America Brubaker on there.
Alrighty, seems fair enough. Alrighty, next up, I have the Hulk. Who do you
Oh,
hear when you read the Hulk?
I don't know if I have anything I can pull like specifically. I used to play a lot of this Hulk. I think it's called Hulk Ultimate Destruction on the GameCube. I used to play that a ton.
Yeah,
So that's probably I got some of that Hulk like when I read, but I don't have anything specifically I can pull from. Again, Earth's Mightiest Heroes has a great Hulk, but you know, the way Hulk is written with how he talks is different sometimes.
yeah.
So it's always
It all depends.
who do you hear?
I kind of just have like a dumb monster voice whenever I I read the
Yeah.
Hulk. I guess like the closest thing I can compare it to is Solomon Grundy's voice in the Arkham games.
That's it. Yeah.
So that's the closest I got, or like whatever the voice is for like the live action Avengers movie. Whenever he does speak his like 3 words as the Hulk.
I don't hear Professor Hulk from Infinity War.
Oh my god! Yeah, no, oh my god,
That's
I
something I
don't.
don't hear.
Alrighty, next up I have Wonder Woman.
This well, besides like Superman and Batman, because they already had voice actors before the Justice League animated series, I think Wonder Woman in the Justice League animated series is like my favorite voice actor slash actress. Um, Besides Batman and Superman, so definitely her from the Justice League animated series.
Yeah, yeah, same here. I think her name is Susan Eisenberg. She is the voice actress for Wonder Woman. I definitely do not hear Gal Gadot whenever I read
No,
Wonder Woman. Nah, nah. I mean, as much as I like her Wonder Woman in live action, Susan Eisenberg for me. All right, up
agreed.
next we got the Flash. I didn't put like a specific Flash. It could be. We can do. I mean, at least for me, I just have like the same Flash voice for like everyone. But
I do have different ones. I do have different ones. If we're
all right,
talking Barry Allen. I guess we're about to get Barry Allen in a movie, so we'll do Barry Allen. I guess
All right.
I definitely hear the Injustice video games Barry Allen. Um, like
Isn't he
Injustice
voiced
2.
by Grant Gustin? I think he is.
In the Injustice 2 game?
I think yeah, in Injustice 2, he's voiced by Grant Gustin, if I'm not mistaken.
It says Injustice 2. I am not even going to try to pronounce his name. But it says Taliesin, I'm just going to say, is the Flash in Injustice 2.
Oh damn! I thought I was fed wrong information.
But yeah, that's definitely who I hear. I don't like the Flash show. I don't hear him. I definitely don't hear Ezra Miller.
Yeah,
I mean the Injustice animated series Flash Wally is great. So
yeah, that's who I hear as Flash. I I mean, I always prefer Wally West Flash over Barry Allen Flash.
me too.
I read um the first deluxe edition of the Flash Rebirth, and I don't know. I didn't like Barry Allen. That he just I said it on the podcast before, and I'll say it again. I really hate when certain heroes are like super like extremely stick to the books, do it by the books to prove like it works type character, like that kind of cliche. Like you see like people like getting killed and getting slaughtered, like no, we do it by the books. If the books worked, this would have never happened. So I don't like I don't know. I just uh, that's my little Barry Allen rant. I haven't read a lot. I just read mostly Wally West stuff. So I just hear the voice actor who does Wally West for the Flash for like most of the Flash characters.
Gotcha.
All right, up next, Martian Manhunter.
This one, I mean, the only one I think I can pull from is the Justice League animated series. But he's great there. He's just very stoic.
Yeah,
Um, I feel like if I had played more of it, there's probably a lot of voice actors for these characters in the DC Universe online game, the MMO.
yeah.
But that's who I would pick for Martian Manhunter easily.
I'm gonna pick the Martian Manhunter from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Easy.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. No, 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 no. Easily the Justice League animated series. Martian Manhunter, John Jones. Easy.
Okay.
Next up we got Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor.
For Lex Luthor, I easily 1,000% hear the Superman animated series Lex Luthor. Like, just I mean,
Not even Jesse Eisenberg.
oh God. No. If I were to hear him for anything, it'd be the Joker. He plays the Joker in that movie. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's been a lot of great Lex Luthor portrayals, but when it comes to like the Superman and Batman animated series, like those are just like the versions of those characters for the most part for me. Like,
Yeah,
um, so if it's gonna be Superman or Batman, the answer is usually gonna be one of those animated series characters.
yeah. I agree with the same thing for Lex Luthor. Same voice actor for Justice League animated series and stuff like that. All right. Next up, I have Hal Jordan Green Lantern. Hal Jordan Green Lantern.
Definitely Injustice 2, Hal Jordan. I love the voice actor for the Injustice 2, Hal Jordan. Like, I think it's probably my favorite voice actor besides like Kevin Conroy's Batman in there. So,
Mhm.
but like besides those kind of people, he's like I can like vividly hear Hal Jordan from Injustice 2 when I'm reading him in the comics. Cuz there are some characters like for him, for me, and then Wolverine, Steve Blum, like where I can just Steve Bloom. Now I'm second guessing myself how you say his name. That you vividly hear, and he's one of those for me. Who do you hear?
For me, I don't really have a specific voice actor for Hal Jordan. I guess if I had to say something, it would be a mix between the Hal Jordan voice actor from Justice League War and Injustice 2 Green Lantern. I kind of
Okay.
like a mix of both, not one definitively. Definitely not Ryan Reynolds.
No.
Definitely not Ryan Reynolds.
Justice League War is a good one though. Besides the suit.
Oh God. Make sure to check out that episode, guys, where we review Green Lantern 2011 and then we rank the Green Lantern suits and how badly we bash Justice League War Green Lantern
I think
suit.
we gave it a C though, because besides the shoulders, it's not bad.
Yeah, but it's just the shoulders just brings it down so much.
It really does. It really, really does.
Alrighty, next up we have Thor.
This one was one of the toughest for me because Thor is another character that can, at least recently, be portrayed very, very, very differently. He can be portrayed as kind of like the goofy, like, oh, King of Oz, like he can be that very goofy Norse mythology, kind of the earlier stuff we see of Thor. But like recently with Jason Aaron's Thor, he's a lot more serious and it's a lot, So if it's like goofy Thor, not even goofy, but just more over the top is the better. I would say it's Earth's Mightiest Avengers, like the animated show I keep talking about. He's got more of that, over the top accent. But if it's like a serious Jason Aaron Thor, I kind of hear like Chris Hemsworth's voice from like Thor 1.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like that movie, I did like his Thor there because there are some really dumb, goofy parts. But like when he's like kind of more serious in that movie, I think I hear that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Chris Hemsworth all the way. Mainly, if I had to pick, I probably like more of the Chris Hemsworth from Infinity War, because
Yeah,
it kind of like a balance of between like jokey and like serious. So I kind of just hear Chris Hemsworth voice more from that.
yeah, you're right. Actually, that is probably like in those scenes like where he's like really like talking to Rocket and he's like really
Yeah.
that is probably who I hear.
Up next, we got Ultron. Who do you hear when you read Ultron? Who did you hear when you read Annihilation Conquest when they introduced Ultron?
I can tell you with ease, probably my top 3 villains, like voice actor wise, from the Earth's Mightiest Avengers are Kang, Ultron, and Doom. I really like just the way he's portrayed there. It's very robotic. It's not like Age of Ultron where it's a straight up voice actor. It's a lot more robotic and feels more menacing to me that way.
I hear James Spader, the voice actor who did Ultron in Avengers: Age of Ultron.
I gotta send you some clips. Then I got.
Well,
You're gonna.
I don't know. I just love like, because I've seen him in like other things before. The actor who plays Ultron, and I just think his voice is like very for Ultron. But if I don't know if Earth's Mightiest Heroes Ultron wins me over, then I might change my answer.
Okay,
But
hold
as
on.
of right now,
I'm gonna pull it up right now.
okay.
Stop it! This isn't what Hank would want. He programmed you so you couldn't hurt me. Doesn't that tell you anything?
Henry Pym is flawed, like all of humanity. You are correct, however. I am not able to hurt you. Yet.
No.
Give me James Spader all the way, baby. James Spader still on top for me.
Okay, wait. Let me show you Doom now. Let me show you Doom.
Okay,
You'll love this Doom.
You're too good to talk to me? How does that bad guys that...
Miss Van Dyne, I am not some common criminal that can be distracted by your prattling. You are nothing to Doom, and your pathetic attempts to play mind games with me amount to exactly less than nothing. So please, stop embarrassing yourself.
Come on, that's Doom.
I do like that a lot. I do like that a lot. So my Doom answer, I'll change it to Earth Mightiest Hero Doom. That was pretty sick. But Ultron, James Spader, baby. James Spader.
Okay.
All the way. Easy.
Fair enough.
Last but not least, we have Star-Lord.
I struggled with this because I don't hear Chris Pratt. And and I guess I've kind of made my own up in my head, but I was kind of scrolling through stuff I know, like there's a Telltale video game where you just make choices. I don't know if you've ever heard of those games.
Yeah, I think I heard that there's a Telltale Guardians game. Yeah.
Um, but the one I landed on that's closest to kind of what I hear is from the Square Enix video game, the recent
Yep.
video game. That's closest to what I hear.
Yeah, I agree. I do hear the Star-Lord from the video game. At first I didn't like the voice actor, but then like the more I played, the more I preferred his voice of Star-Lord over Chris Pratt's. But yeah, I do definitely hear the voice actor for Star-Lord from the Square Enix game.
All right. Well, that's we each picked 10. I'm sure we'll do this another time. There's definitely more characters we can go through.
Hopefully, none like Ultron's voice actor from Earth Mightiest Heroes.
No, dude, he's the best. He's the best. He has a really good voice actor in Ultimate Alliance 3, I believe. I really liked his voice there. I don't know who does it, but
right. I might have to check that out then.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to play it and you'll see.
I know, hopefully. So I think last but not least, the comic book movie wheel. This is the last one. Do you just want me to like to spin it and show it to you on the camera?
Or I guess
right.
You can spin it, you can see it, and then you can we'll see. This is to see which next week we're going to review a comic book movie. We're going to try and watch every comic book movie ever.
Yeah.
We've done one so far. Here's our second.
Yeah, here we go. I'm up to show it. Hopefully that picks up. All right, let's see who it is.
X-Men First Class?
X-Men First Class. Let's go.
Okay.
I'm actually pretty excited for that because I really like X-Men First Class. So pretty solid pick. I was hoping for the Captain America movie from the 70s, but you know.
Oh god, dude, that one's gonna be a struggle.
We're gonna get there eventually.
The whole thing's on YouTube though, so we can watch it for free.
Thank God, I was not gonna pay money for that. Oh yeah, so next episode we will be reviewing X-Men First Class. I've been seeing funny clips from on TikTok about X-Men First Class that
really?
Yeah, it's like it was like both an interesting choice of words and an interesting frame to cut to right after they say those words. That I'll discuss next episode when we read and review it. Also, fun fact: when we do the episode next Monday, will be my birthday, so I'm excited for that. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
I'm glad you got a movie you wanted. Then that you deserve.
I know. I mean, we didn't get Captain America 74, so I mean, it's as
I don't
you
think
know.
You really want.
So there's that, and we're gonna do some more hot takes of comic book movies, all that type of stuff. A lot of hot takes. We did sprinkle some hot takes in our earlier episodes. Definitely in our first episode, we did say a couple hot takes.
I've got I think my hottest take ready for this next episode.
Oh God,
I think I've got my hottest take.
I'm nervous to hear it, but I'm also very excited because I am full of hot takes, as you probably could tell from my slander for Ultron's voice actor for Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
So good.
But we got that for next episode. Make sure to follow us on TikTok and Twitter at ComicsRTW. And if you guys want, Woody and I are also on League of Comic Geeks. Is that what it's called, right?
Yes. League of ComicGeeks.com. It is an awesome website / app where you can review comics. You can mark which comics you've read or which comics you own or which comics you're pulling, which ones you want. And you can also just post comic related stuff. I've been on the site for a while and it's awesome.
Yeah, thanks to Woody, I've been nothing but consumed in that. So it's awesome because, like you said, you can catalog all your stuff while also having community to talk to and discuss comic books, rate and review, and all that type of stuff. I know I spent like 4 hours yesterday cataloging most of my comic books onto the app. So, and it's pretty cool because they have like a statistics thing where like see like who's your most collected comic book character, what writer you collect for the most from, artist,
Yeah, it's really cool.
inks, colorists, lettering, all that stuff. It goes very in depth. It's really cool, and it also gives you the value of your stuff, so that's also a bonus. But yeah, make sure to follow us on TikTok and Twitter, like I just said, Comics RTW. And where can they find you outside of the podcast?
I stream on Twitch, but I won't be doing it for a while because I'll just be playing Zelda. But I'll do a little soft announcement right now. I
Okay.
will, after I am done playing Zelda, I'm going to be streaming and beating every comic book movie. Every comic book video game. At least I'm gonna start with just Marvel and DC. Maybe after that I'll do like Scott Pilgrim and stuff. But I think to start, I'm just gonna try and beat every Marvel and DC video game ever made. It's gonna be quite a task. I'll be making reviews on TikTok after I beat them. So yeah, I'm really excited to eventually stream that once Zelda has.
That's gonna
passed.
be rough because I know there's like Thor when the first Thor, they came out with a video game and it looks terrible.
I've got like all of them above me. Like I've started collecting them. Like they have Ghost Rider PS2. They have a lot of. They have an where is it? Aquaman on the original Xbox. This game is supposedly trash, dude.
I mean, it looks like it's.
It's supposed to be really bad, so it'll be fun to like hang out with people while I endure terrible games. So
I will definitely be there. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and you also got to play Superman 64, notoriously one of the worst video games ever made.
Ever, I'm gonna beat it.
Oh man, it could never be me, man. My patience would never.
I'll be able to have some fun with it though, because like as Spider-Man 2 is releasing, I'm gonna play through Spider-Man PS4 and Miles, like to get ready for Spider-Man 2. So there's some good games.
That is true. There are keyword some.
Some.
But I mean, I know like Hulk, the Hulk game you talked about earlier. That's really fun because it's a destructible environment, stuff like that. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then I have up here on GameCube Ultimate Spider-Man. It's a great game.
I did hear a lot of good things about that. Web of Shadows is really good too, as well.
I love Shattered Dimensions. I've actually already beat it on stream, and I'm gonna do it again because I love that game. So
awesome, that's sick. You guys can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Orion Scott Comics. Again, you can follow our podcast, Comics RTW, and you can follow us on League of Comic Geeks. My handle is Orion Scott. What was your handle? Is
Frankie AM, FRANKIE AM.
There we go. Definitely check us out on there too because we're always there. So it's a lot of fun. If
you like comic books, you need to be on this website / app. They have an app on your phone, and then you can just Google it. You'll find it. Make an account.
Yeah,
awesome.
And we're not sponsored by them, obviously, but we just really like the app. It's really cool. I just went pro. I just bought the.
Did you?
Yeah, it's only like $1.90 for like a month and like $20 a year. So
nice.
Pretty good deal.
That too.
But yeah, with that being said, make sure to check out our TikTok and Instagram for any updates, giveaways, stuff like that. Definitely TikTok for our giveaways. We do frequent giveaways. I think the one right now is it Star Wars?
It's a Star Wars Omnibus. And literally right as we end this, I'm going to be going and shipping out Superman Red and Blue to Rad Comics. He won it on TikTok.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, with that being said, guys, we'll catch you on our other socials, and we'll see you in the next video. And not video, but like next episode of the podcast. With that being said, make sure to check out your local comic book shop, stuff like that. Support your local comic book shop. Check out comics on Comixology, Marvel Unlimited, DC Universe Infinite, Hoopla, stuff like that. Read comics whenever you can, and remember that comics run the world. See ya.